Hello everyone from Philippines, from Bantayan Island. This small island is famous for its snow-white beaches and attract lovers of a relaxing beach holiday. It is located west of the northern part of the Cebu Island and it's only 50 kilometers in diameter. In this video, I will try to look at the island not only through the eyes of a tourist by visiting the beaches and sat in the cafes. I will also try to look at the island through the eyes of an expat to understand how interesting and comfortable it will be for a medium and long-term stay here. I will visit the three main cities of the island, the tourist Santa Fe with its snow-white beaches, cafes and bars, the port city with the same name as the island Bantayan, and the provincial fishing city of Madridejos. To get to Bantayan Island in Cebu City at the North Bus Terminal, I took a bus to the city of Hagnaya. The way took several hours and the cost of the trip was 200 pesos. From the port of Hagnaya you need to take a ferry to Bantayan Island. A ferry ticket costs about 300 pesos and it will take several hours to reach the island. The ship, of course, looked very much like an army barracks with all those two-level bunks. There was also a small store selling snacks and instant noodles. On the way to the island, a thunderstorm began, and loud thunder preceded bright lightning, striking from a gloomy sky here and there, straight in the ocean. Sometimes it seems to me that the next lightning would strike directly at our ship. But everything worked out well, and after some time it was evening already. Our ship docked at the port of Santa Fe City. In advance, on trip.com I booked a hotel room for 2 nights. This tiny room cost me 850 pesos per night. And to be honest, I didn't like it. It was very stuffy, there was no air conditioning, and the electric fan was not doing its job well. The next morning after I arrived on the island, I decided personally to take a look at those beaches of Bantayan Island that I had heard about from the locals and those photos I seen in the internet. Right in the center of the city I went out to the water and just walked along the beach. There was a strong low tide this morning which exposed a large portion of the coastal bottom. The first beach on my way was Kota Beach. This wide, sandy beach is located right at the bend of the island. It was still very early, that's why there were almost no tourists here now, which means there are no unknown people and street food sellers here at that moment. Also, the picture was spoiled a little bit by the low tide. But at this time I saw here fishermen returning with their morning catch. Kota Beach smoothly flowed into the next beach, Sugar Beach. Not much difference from the previous one. Still the same white sandy beach. But here, as it seems to me, there are more palm trees under which you can hide from the scorching sun, and resorts, which was one after another here, offering beach holiday to visitors. I continued to walk along the coastal line under the growing sun, and I didn't even notice how the sandy beach gave way to a rocky one. Here my companions were not palm trees, but the porous volcanic rocks, which form strange patterns in this place. The land line between the sea and the rock became very narrow. Beach here is really different than previous one, and it began to seem to me that I had arrived on the planet of Pandora. Staring at the beauty of the cliffs, I did not notice the snake trapped in the fishing nets. I didn't know she was alive or no, so I walked with caution. After all, this species of sea snake is one of the most poisonous in the world, but the snake had been dead for a long time already.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
I walked along the volcanic landscape in the scorching morning sun, with the rising tide making it difficult to walk here without getting my feet wet. If only I had hesitated, it would have been impossible to pass here. But after some time I came to Sandira Beach, aka Paradise Beach. This is probably one of the most beautiful beaches I have ever seen in the Philippines. And even though it is not so wide, its combination with rocky cliffs gives it a special magical charm. Here I swam and rested. Then I went upstairs and slowly walked back to the city. After all, I would not have been able to return the same way because of the tide, which hid my morning path under the water. One of the island's attractions, which is indicated on all maps, is the ruins. I thought there is some kind of old Spanish ruins. And here, it looks as if someone's house just fell apart. After a morning walk along the beaches, I returned to Santa Fe. Here I had lunch and cooled down a little bit in a cafe. I wanted to look at the city's infrastructure and understand if Santa Fe is suitable for a settled life here. I visited the public market.
How much scallops?
35.
35?
Yeah.
And small one?
35 in one pack. And this one is 50 per kilo. This is 2
Ah, this is not kilo.
This is half kilo.
Ah, okay.
In the city there is also a grocery store and a chain mini market with food and household goods. Santa Fe is essentially a small provincial Philippine town, but with an actively developing tourism infrastructure. There are already many beach resorts, and in the city itself there are many hotels and guest houses. It wouldn't be difficult to rent a room for a few days or even a few weeks for a reasonable price here. I also saw advertisement on the street for long-term rental houses, and I saw several such ads on a Facebook marketplace. Therefore, I'm more than confident that there will be no problems with renting housing in Santa Fe. The island of Bantayan and Santa Fe are famous for their seafood and especially scallops. Scallops are sold everywhere here. Fresh ones are sold at the market. On the beach they are sold for only 35 peso already boiled. And in restaurants they are served baked with a mayonnaise garlic sauce under a cheese cup for only 200 pesos. This, let me tell you, is amazing delicious. But what pleased me as a cyclist was the opportunity to rent a bike. On the streets of Santa Fe, street sellers was constantly trying to drag me into one of the countless cafes here.
You have also the seafoods, the fish, shrimp, squid, crabs, your fish, lapu-lapu, tangigi, and katamba.
And on the beach there were endless sellers of souvenirs and street food.
No,
Real
no.
pearl. This is from the sea.
Okay. No, I don't need, thank you.
Oh, shark. This is shark tooth.
Shark teeth.
Yeah.
How did you get shark teeth?
Uh,
Is shark still alive or no?
shark teeth, but shark teeth.
It was already closer to sunset when the tidal water began to reclaim the territories lost in the morning. I headed back to Kota Beach to try soak up the city's evening beach vibes. Locals and visitors come to the beach to watch the sunset and relax after a hot day. And after sunset, the lights of bars and restaurants light up, luring visitors here. There is a whole tourist street here, which is consist from cafes and restaurants. Music is playing everywhere, and mature foreign expats are starting to crawl out from their shelter and gather in flocks in their favorite bars to discuss events of the day or a bottle of beer. And young Filipino ladies in short shorts begin to flock to them like flies to honey. Here I even saw an Harley hotel with heart on the sign, which brings to mind certain thoughts. In fact, most of the city's establishments are targeted on expats and visitors, but those who decide to settle in Santa Fe for a long time must accept that there are no large malls here, no large hospital or other attributes of urban infrastructure. Here on Bantayan Island, but in its not tourist part, my long-term friend lived with her daughter. And the next day of my stay on the island, we agreed to meet and visit Octon Cape, which is located here not far from Santa Fe. A resort with a swimming pool was built around the cave, where you can spend a pleasant day, which is exactly what we did. Early in the morning in her hometown of Madridejos, which is located on the opposite end of the island from Santa Fe, my friend bought seafood from the fishermen. For example, crabs cost her only 180 pesos per kilogram, so we had a wonderful seafood lunch overlooking the ocean. I also explored that cave. It's not so big and scary, to be honest. Already in the afternoon, after spending almost the whole day at the resort and swimming in the pool, I went to explore the next city of Bantayan Island, which is also called Bantayan, and my friend returned home to her native city Madridejos, where I will also go the next day. I arrived in the city of Bantayan after lunch, and before checking into my hotel room, I walked around the city a little bit. First, I visited the public market. As I understand it correctly, the city of Bantayan is the fishing center of the island, and that's why the local market has a really large selection of fish and seafood. Mom, how much crabs like that?
Sir, 1 kilo.
350? However, vegetables and meat are also sold here. Another attraction of the city is a separate market dedicated only to dried fish. After the market, I decided to take a look at the mall. There is a big chain mall here. A large and, in fact, the only hospital on the island is also located here in Bantayan City. Then I walked along the boulevard and take a look into the local fishing port. There is a large and very long fishing quay. And in the port, I witnessed how local fishermen caught edible seaweed. Late in the evening, I checked into the hotel. This room cost me 900 pesos per night. I changed my clothes and continued walking around. In addition to the market, boulevard and mall, the city also have a small park. I also walked through, so to speak, the sleeping areas, where, by the way, I saw a few advertisements for rental houses. This means that those who want to settle here for a long time will be able to find housing. During the unusually beautiful sunset hour here, local residents gather on the boulevard. Some people walk and watch the sunset, while others spend time in food courts with street food, which are located right here, right on the boulevard. But there is no beach here, so for a beach holiday you will have to go to Santa Fe. Also, the city itself seems somehow compressed to me, or something like that. The boulevard, the park and the market are in fact located in one place, but if you step aside, you find yourself in cramped, sleeping and, it seems to me, poor areas. The town of Bantayan left me with mixed impressions. So in the morning I went to explore the next city of the island. This is the city of Madridejos, which is located 15 kilometers away from the city of Bantayan. This is the hometown of the girl we had lunch with the day before. I asked her to meet me and give me a city tour. First of all, we went to see the ruins of an old Spanish fort. This fort was built in 1790s. It served as a watchtower and a shelter for locals during pirate attacks in those years. According to the sign, the fort was built from coral, sand, stones, eggshells, sugar and limestone. A small park was built around the ruins, and the coastline is decorated with a boulevard, from which a long walking bridge stretches towards the sea, ending with the observation deck. From here you can take a look at the city's beaches from the seaside. By the way, on this beach, where there are many boats, on the morning of the previous day my friend bought crab, squid and fish from the fisherman. I wanted to see how ordinary people live here. That's why after visiting the ruins of a Spanish fort, I asked to take me to where my friend lives. We got an electric tricycle and went to another part of the city. Where is your house?
Here, this house.
This one?
Yes.
She was so shy to invite me into her house because she said they live really poor. Every time you think that your life is not so good, look at how people live here and compare. And think about the fact that many more people are worse than you are right now. And there is also a beach here. Foreigners are very rare guests in this area. And while walking here, I constantly felt dozens of eyes on me. Local people always smiled and waved to me.
Hello.
Simple, friendly and cheerful people live here. And their position and very small income could not grow envy and aggression in them at all. And I think we have a lot to learn from them. Only in such places you can feel what the real Philippines is and what the real Filipinos mean. After that, my friend suggested to visit another interesting place. And to get there, we caught a motorcycle taxi. Just a few kilometers away from the city there is another boulevard, along which there are simple but definitely cozy beach cafes with all kinds of barbecue and karaoke bars. There we decided to have a dinner, drink a beer and watch the sunset.
Every night around the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. Think about the world can be a vision of the one I see. A million dreams out in sanity.
Notice the camera in my hands. The local guys must have been thought that I was some kind of important blogger. And after asking shy permission from my friend, one after another they began to take pictures with me, which to be honest was confused me more. Unfortunately, in the city of Dumaguete where I live, you cannot see the sunset as it sets on the opposite side of the island. And that's why every time I travel, I always admire the incredible beauty of the sunset in the Philippines. After sunset, we returned to the city center. And imagine my surprise when the city was not going to sleep at all. Unlike Bantayan City, where I was the day before, Madridejos was alive after dark. City lived in a fair with a simple attraction for children and gambling for those who older. It lived in a rows with a different street food and town people walking here, maybe because the city was preparing for the upcoming fiesta.
How much it is?
89, sir, 89.
In the evening I said goodbye to my guide and took a motorcycle taxi back to the city of Bantayan, where I had a hotel room booked for one more night. From there in the morning the difficult trip back to home to the island of Negros lay ahead. I really enjoyed my stay at Madridejos, and even though there is no big mall here, there is a public market and chain mini market. There are also wonderful beaches, boulevards and park here. And the city is not so compressed as the previous two I stayed in. The city is alive, and here I felt a special atmosphere of comfort. During the whole day that I stayed here, I did not meet a single foreigner. The only thing is that I never saw any advertisement for rental housing, and I have not found such advertisements on the marketplace. Therefore, those who want to settle here may encounter difficulties in finding long-term housing. But whoever seeks will always find. I think if you will speak with the locals directly, this issue can be solved. I decided to return home a different way by passing the island of Cebu.
American?
Oh, sir.
What is your nationality?
Russia.
Put in and put out. Every morning a ship departs from the port in Bantayan City to Negros Island. The ticket for the ship cost 900 Philippine pesos and it arrives to the port of Cadiz City. First, everyone boarded a small boat, which took the passengers to the main ship, moored several kilometers away. Apparently, the port of Bantayan City is not suitable for large ships. Upon arrival on the island of Negros at the port of Cadiz City, I walked to the bus station, and with the transfer in city of San Carlos, I had to travel many hours by bus to Dumaguete. Would you like to visit Bantayan Island? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. If it was interesting for you, just give me your like and subscription to my channel for support me. Thank you in advance.